Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, joined by our baseball beat writer Lance Lysowski. And you'll never guess what we're going to talk about, but we've left you some little hints here up front. This was the cover for the 2013 Pirates Media Guide, and the same gentleman is on the back as on the front. This, of course, was the year of the blackout.
Yep.
He came up with that name. That was a Kutch special.
The year it all started, National League MVP that year.
In
The start of a
addition,
3-year playoff run.
In addition to having been the architect of that playoff run in every sense, we of course have three other. Brought them out from behind the shelves here. This is the Kutch bobblehead that was given away to fans. This is an Indianapolis Indians. You ever seen this one?
No, I haven't seen it. It's a great addition.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this was a figurine that they gave out. And of course, they had on their promotional schedule for 2018 a Kutch thing too. So they were prepared to go through with this ruse the whole way, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it really all started when you look at Pirate Fest and just what Neil Huntington and Frank Coonley told the fans there. I mean, it became pretty clear at that point that they were going to trade Andrew McCutchen. You know, after what Neil Huntington said Monday night, they had informal discussions and there was a gap that couldn't be bridged.
Meaning toward an extension.
Towards an extension. And
yeah, that had a lot of chance at happening. And he had, and then to even acknowledge informal discussions with your resident generational superstar. Really? Informal?
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were very serious at all.
But they're never very serious.
Yeah, no, it's and you kind of see it just by the return. And then again, when Neil Huntington said Monday night that he wanted to give this chance a group to compete again in 2017, but last winter meetings, I mean, they were about to trade Andrew McCutchen to the Nationals. You know, reportedly they were really close to a deal, and then, well, okay, let's compete, but they don't add to the rotation, they don't replace Jung-Ho Kang. Then of course they give away Juan Nicasio and trade Tony Watson. Just you say one thing and you do another.
Yeah, you know what? I'm out of adjectives for this thing. I am. I write these columns, and I'm sure you sense when you read these things, you know, that I'm not exactly struggling to come up with the material.
No.
And they take like 4 minutes, you know? It's because it just comes out so fast because it feels so real. This is a franchise that has a need for somebody else to take over. And I mean that at the ownership level, I mean that at the front office level, everywhere but at field level. I have confidence in Clint Hurdle. I have no confidence in anybody above him at all.
Yeah, it's a track record, the trades they've done, the lack of
everything.
movement in free agency, it's everything at this point.
They don't care. They just don't care. It's a business. It's basically a scam in the sense that they're still trying to, you know, sell a product. They want you to come over there, and they're trying to lie to you and fool you and trick you and lawyer you to death. If you look at, you know,
it's a good way to put it.
If you look at Frank Coonley going and deliberately leaking the Felipe Rivero deal to Ken Rosenthal, and yes, that's exactly how this works. I can say that on camera, and that's the reason that the other national writers are all mad at the Pirates. That's how this stuff works, even though the Rivero thing wasn't done. That's how these guys operate. They think you're stupid. Go ahead, Lance. I got nothing here. I have nothing new or original to say on this topic.
We'll say one thing,
Go ahead.
It's that Bob Knighting told reporters that there's pretty much no chance of them ever re-signing any player like Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, yeah.
That it's not limited to the Pirates, that it is an industry-wide problem, which tells you that even when Josh Bell reaches his maximum potential, even when Felipe Rivero, even if they do sign his extension in a couple of years, that these guys are all going to be gone, and this is just going to be a continuing cycle. And when you have failures in the draft like the Pirates have had, you get a year like what they're going to have in 2018 where there's no chance of them
and when
being
you hear
competitive.
that, though, Lance, when you hear Bob Nutting say to you, and Coonley will say the same thing, and so will Huntington. They're all basically the same person at this point. The Nutting used to be his own guy. He's not anymore. When they say to you, it's an industry-wide problem,
It's not.
What's Joey Votto doing in Cincinnati? How has Milwaukee kept their guys when they've wanted to, a market that's 2/3 the size of Pittsburgh? How stupid do these people think that they are, that you can't just walk out of there and open up a book? Hey, wait a second. No, that's actually not true, this thing that you just said. You just lied.
Yeah, and the one thing is that you can't argue about Garrett Cole. The $7.5 million in 2018, gone. You know, with 2 years of club control left, you can't tell me that this club is better in
No.
2018 and 2019 without Garrett Cole in
But
it.
they're saying that anyway
Yeah.
because you think you're stupid. And they think that the people that you're relaying information to are stupid.
And it's not like they got guys who are going to come in and that are proven major league players. When you trade players like Garrett Cole and Andrew McCutchen for as talented as they are, you're supposed to get star potential. And there's no star potential in either of these trades. There's failed starters. There's a third baseman who had to reinvent his swing last year just to hit more than 10 home runs
in the
professional
Pacific
season,
Coast League.
which is a hitter-friendly park, so that's a huge
hitter-friendly atmosphere, yeah.
Hitter-friendly atmosphere. It's a huge asterisk. There's a lot of question marks here with this haul, and it just seems
wait, let's condense the haul into one sentence.
No top 100 prospects.
For your top pitcher and your top player, and you received 0 top 100 prospects in return. 4-year extensions for all these guys. 4-year extensions.
Yeah, and to cut the payroll after, the way that they're going to, and to not add to this team, and to kind of just roll the dice again. I mean, you got a hint that this was coming let's go to the beginning of last season when they didn't add to the rotation, and you let Tyler Glasnow go out there even though it was clear he wasn't ready, and everything else they've done just as a front office over the last couple
Bob
of
Nutting
years.
the question about the $50 million payment that they're getting in sometime this spring. All major league teams are, and here was Bob Nutting's response to Lance.
Bob, each club is reportedly getting money from the sale of MLB Advanced Media. With that and some of the payroll's been cut, what would you say to a fan who would question where that money is going and some of the payroll you guys have shed?
Yeah, well, certainly on the BAMTech distribution, that's a one-time distribution. No decision's been made on where that's going to go. But we need, in addition to infusing talent, to continue to support the player facilities, the overall team operations facilities, capital improvements that we've been able to do. But no decision's been made on those.
So this really smart, shrewd, established businessman knows that $50 million is coming his way, or the team's way. And he tells you that they don't have a plan. Again, how stupid do these people think that you are? Or that any of us are?
Yeah, and you look at the money they save with Starling Marte's suspension, Jung-Ho Gung being gone, Juan Nicasio, that's $600,000, which was supposed to be allocated to help them winning World Series in 2018. It just...
Here's the thing, though. What he could have and should have said to you is, well, we're getting $50 million. You'd better believe, Lance Lysowski, that we are putting this back into baseball. I can't wait
It's the answer I expected, to be honest
pump
with you.
that back into this roster and this payroll and show this city how committed we are. We're going to bolster this rotation. We're going to sign Josh Bell to a long-term deal. No, you got this. We don't know what we're doing with it thing.
They knew it was coming, didn't they?
And you would think that somebody would have prepared him, or if they did, that he'd be standing there ready. Oh, here comes the $50 million question. I'm ready for this one, And it didn't, it just, God, let's go to the next segment. Andrew McCutchen is going to be a wonderful San Francisco Giant. I want to turn this into something that's positive because that's what Andrew McCutchen
Perfect fit for him.
was in Pittsburgh in his time. And in my experiences, and those of you who've been reading me for a long time know that I will glow about not just the city of San Francisco, but the Giants and how they conduct themselves. That ballpark, those fans who are there are so into pitching, unlike any other ballpark in the majors. A lot of players talk about that, how into the 2-strike counts and everything that they are. It's actually really neat. And if you think about it, the Giants have been built. They're winning teams. They're championship teams. My goodness, the one year they couldn't hit at all. They won the World Series.
Yeah, they're going for it again. Last year they really struggled, but now it's, at one turn, it looked like this offseason they weren't going to add to their team. They might rebuild a little bit. Then they get Evan Longoria.
They don't have to rebuild. They look at the lineup that the Giants had last year. They got off to a really slow start because Matt Cain just totally lost it.
Their pitching wasn't as good.
And their pitching, they had to run out some contracts. Well, they did. And now they can, they got it. I still think they have to improve their pitching, but that's going to be a contender in the West.
They're going to add another outfielder, maybe Lorenzo Cain in free agency. You have an outfield of Cain, McCutchen, and Hunter Pence. That's pretty good.
They're serious. I mean, the Giants bring in, they pack the place. It's 43,000. It's sold out day and night all throughout the week.
Heck of a lineup now.
But they earned that trust from San Francisco. The fans there, the city there, the banners that are everywhere. "We are Giants" was their slogan. You could see it all up and down the Embarcadero, which is the main road outside the AT&T Park there. It's a great fit for Kutch on so many levels, not least of which is that he's always enjoyed, and he told me this while we were there, playing in the outfield there, because there's a lot of room. You got that weird gap over by that Levi's wall, you know what I'm talking about? And he's got the pool-friendly porch there in left field. I'm happy for him.
Oh, perfect. I mean, this is perfect. He has lineup protection. This is a team that wants to go for a World Series. He's played really well. I think he's batted a career .275 in AT&T Park. So you couldn't think of a better fit for him. But again,
well, I could think of one. And that's the place where he was the happiest and where he would have been absolutely, legitimately delighted to finish his career in Pittsburgh. He and I talked about that at length at one point this summer in Denver, and he talked about wanting to be here and be part of the parades that he saw the Penguins and Steelers participating in down the Boulevard of the Allies. He wanted to be part of that Hannes Wagner, Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell legacy, to have a statue of him. And he's gone from here at age 30. And man, win something out there, man. Win something.
The website is flooded with comments, obviously, from all of our content on Monday night. As you can imagine.
Monday, nothing. We've had
that's a good point.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Between those, we've had somewhere in the neighborhood of about 15,000 comments put on the site between Garrett Cole.
3 days.
Obviously, what happened with the Steelers. Penguins actually had a nice win on Sunday. That didn't hurt, but man, it's people are definitely engaged. There's no question.
That gives us a perfect opportunity for the What's in Your Cup segment, where we kind of survey the readers. We give them an opportunity to ask a question, kind of dictate what our final segment is. So what do we got this time around?
Yeah, this is from J.M. Bell, who is a longtime reader of ours, and we appreciate that, first of all. He asks, and I'm going to have to censor this one a little bit, as we've been doing that, monitoring a lot of the comments that have been pretty colorful the past few days. He sends in, wouldn't it be great if attendance averaged 8,000 or 9,000 all year, except for the Giants series in May, where they would get 10K more just to see Kutch? Wouldn't it be hilarious for management to watch that happen? A big blank U to them.
May 11th through the 13th is that series against the Giants, by the way. So,
yeah, I actually would seriously consider getting tickets for that in advance if I was anybody that was interested in that, because I think that's I think that is gonna sell out. Pittsburgh's an event town, and that's gonna be an event. Lance, the attendance is gonna.
It's gonna be bad.
You know, one thing, I try never to compare college and pro sports.
Yeah, of course.
But one thing about this city is when we let go,
it's all the way.
We really let go, man.
It is all the way.
You know what I'm going to mention here, which is Pitt basketball.
Yeah, that's one for sure.
Jamie Dixon left, and there's this monstrous sellout streak and everything else, and obviously they've gone from that to what, 2,500 per game, other than when Duke came in. And
imagine the Civic Arena after Yager was traded in the late '90s. I mean, I remember going to a Calgary Flames game there where there was probably a couple of thousand people there. Yeah, I remember getting tickets. We just moved all the way up to the front. I mean, it's that type of thing. And
I mean, Pittsburgh's rough on a loser, if that's a way to put it here. I also think that applies pressure though to our teams, because they know that if you don't perform, they're not going to show up. The thing is though, Pirates fans say this stuff.
They keep going because there's a love for the history of the franchise, and there's just so much passion for it.
And, you know, I'm going to throw out, here's another college pro parallel for you. Tennessee was going to hire Greg Schiano as their football coach. Tell everybody what happened when Mr. Schiano was named as he was going to be the next coach.
Fans protested it, and they didn't hire him, even though it's going to cost them millions of dollars for reneging the contract.
Alumni.
Yeah,
guys who went to the NFL, movie stars who went to the university, spoke up.
Huge outcry.
The university administration heard it, knew they had absolutely no choice but to go a different route, and something happened. You know when that's going to happen? When it's really... You want another one?
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they keep going.
No, but I'm saying, at least their fans, it was done with a sense of humor, but they did the 0-16 parade.
It was funny, yeah.
Around First Energy Stadium. It was like 10 below, but it got national attention. It embarrassed. That's never going to happen in Pittsburgh with the Pirates, is it?
No, I don't think it is. And I think a lot of people get caught up in people forget that a baseball game is an event. I mean, people take their families, so that's part of the attendance there. And honestly, I thought even after Garrett Cole was traded, I thought to myself, well, maybe they won't trade Andrew McCutchen because of the impact it'll have on attendance. Of course, it took 48 hours for that to change, and Neil
They
Huntington.
don't care. They have a TV contract up. Doesn't
The
matter.
money's still the money, and
Stadium naming rights are up. Doesn't
If
matter.
anything, the
All that
50
matters is saving the buck that's right in front of them.
if anything, the $50 million that they're getting might make up for some of the money they're going to lose.
Yeah,
during
but
the
Lance,
season.
we don't know what we're going to do with that yet.
It's a good point. No, and the one argument that Neil Huntington made is that even young players can be exciting, and he pointed to the rookie years of Neil Walker, Andrew McCutchen, and Starling Marte. I don't think this group has that type of star power.
You know who I want to be? And this is a great way to close the show, because our man Chris Benson is going to put this picture over the screen here. I want to be that dude that Matt Sunday shot at Heinz Field, who was sitting all alone in 20 degrees below zero or whatever it was in those yellow seats, who's just sitting around thinking, man, when does hockey season start?